Hi yogis, I'm Pippa. I work with Jeff Bailey, the founder of Avita Yoga, as his global support, you could say. I'm here to introduce today's Avita Yoga community chat, recorded live and now available to you here on YouTube. The Avita community chat is a free, informal and welcoming Q&A with Jeff, where students and teachers alike can bring their questions and learn from each other to deepen their understanding of the practice and their own bodies. In today's chat, the subject of cramps comes up and why we should not fear them, and even perhaps look for them. Also, a quick bit of advice for dealing with hip soreness caused by hiking, and something you may never have considered, how issues with your teeth can affect our whole bodies and our practice. Now on to the chat. Enjoy.
We're here and you both have burning questions. So what can I do to help? Kendall, why don't you go first?
Okay, I have two questions. And I'm 100% certain that you have addressed one of them previously before I joined the chats, but can you explain why the cramps are a good thing? Because they feel like a good thing when they're happening.
I know. What part of your body are the cramps happening in?
Usually I actually don't often get them while I'm practicing.
Oh.
It'll be like when I wake up in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the middle of the night, and it's usually my calf muscle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is, in a way, two different things. The cramps that we work with in the practice are deliberate because we're moving into new territory.
Okay.
See, sometimes it's the musculature in the bottom of the foot because we wear shoes and we just don't get full use of the muscles or the bones and joints. So the moment we start to come into a shape where we fully start to use those muscles, then as the muscles move into new territory and the joints move into territory, there's spasming. And in that regard, no matter where we work with the cramping throughout the body, we don't want to be afraid of it. We want to realize that we're moving into new territory, that there's a healing process happening, that we're looking at the blockage and the restriction and even the pain without fear. That's big. Okay. Now, the cramp that you're having in the morning or in the middle of the night, oftentimes a doctor or a physical therapist might say, are you getting enough water during the day? Are you getting enough calcium and magnesium?
Right.
And you've probably tried that. Yeah. How often does it happen?
Rarely.
Okay, it's rare.
Yeah. The reason I'm bringing up the question is you so often mention it during the practice. And so I have had a cramp come on during practice, maybe twice. But I'm aware that as you're saying, look for the cramps, go for the cramps. I'm saying, I don't think so.
Yeah. So then you do the dance, right? It starts to come on and you back off. You just, the key is, I guess there are two things we try not to do. Quickly react and avoid.
Yeah.
And be afraid of them.
Okay.
So, and a lot of times we can feel them start to come on. There it is. And so then you back off a little bit, give it a chance to relax a little bit, then you go back into it. You know, that's the dance. Now, on random, rare occasions, I get them too in the morning. Pretty rarely in the middle of the night, but I think I've had those too. And I'll say that even throughout my day, like I might be kicking back, watching a movie or something and flexing my toes or doing something. And sometimes I'm watching a movie and looking for cramps, you know, and sometimes it comes on a little bit unexpectedly. All right. A, I'm not going to react. B, I'm not going to be afraid. And I may be even having a conversation with somebody or like I said, watching a movie, and I can just let this cramp do its thing as I maintain my peaceful presence. And that I can practice too in the morning when I'm getting out of bed. If I point my toes and stretch, sometimes it'll start to trigger a little thing in a calf muscle. And then, okay, there's my practice. In the middle of the night, it's pretty rude awakening.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? You know, if you're hydrating well and you have calcium and magnesium, if you get those randomly, what are you going to do? You're going to freak out and react, or, you know, ride it out a little bit and go back to sleep.
Start practicing the Zen moment. Yeah.
When we can't do the yoga we prefer, all becomes yoga. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Yep. In a way, we never stop, especially at the level of the mind. Yeah.
Thanks. So speaking of not being able to practice the yoga we prefer, I will be traveling for a week in May and then a week in June. And if you had any suggestions for how to continue the practice when I won't have a bolster, I won't have my yoga mat, I'll be on like Airbnb. Those will be the floors. So, you know, if it's my home, I don't mind lying on my carpet, but sometimes it's wood floors and it's not comfortable. So
yeah,
or standing or sitting, things we can do to just kind of keep things going.
Well, what I'll oftentimes say is, if you've been walking and on your feet a lot and your feet are feeling tired and legs are feeling tired, put your legs up somehow.
Okay.
You know, you can put them up on the wall. You can also bend your knees and put them over an ottoman or a chair. And if you don't feel good being on the floor, you can fold up some blankets or fold up some towels and lie back on that. And sometimes that's all we need. You know, when we're traveling, we're kind of out of our familiar territory. It's okay to have a little time away from the practice. It lets us know that we're not really addicted and that we don't have to have it. You know what I mean? And while it's super helpful, it's okay to lighten your practice a little bit when you're traveling. I do, but I do get in my practice. And so if it's not legs up on the wall for a little bit, then it's Sukhasana. Okay. You know, and you can sit on a pillow or not. You can lean back against the wall. I mean, Sukhasana and legs up the wall or legs elevated are two really good starting points. And in and of themselves, especially if you have a consistent practice, which you do, then your body and your mind and everything just kind of snaps back. And that's why a little can go a long ways. And there you are. You do a Sukhasana, you get your legs up on the wall, one of those two things. You close your eyes, you tap into your peaceful self, watch the sensation, and then ask, what next? You know, what next? Oh, maybe I'll just reach my arms. If you're lying on your back, maybe I'll just do a little bit of arm work. You don't even need a strap. You can make a fist, you can spread your fingers. Oh, maybe I'll just turn my head to the side. Maybe I fall asleep. Yeah. You know, and you can just gently ask, what next? Oh, time for dinner. Practice over, go for dinner. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
I'm glad you're doing the hips. You're calling it a workshop coming up in April, because that's my biggest concern, actually, because we'll be doing some hiking and my right hip gets really aggravated if I don't do my Avita yoga. So it's like, oh, I gotta have something going here. Yeah,
that hip, isn't it? That's your crux.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I find that if you're doing a lot of hiking and you're taking a trip, and that's kind of the whole idea, then when you sit down for your Sukhasana, the sensation will come quickly and strong. You know, so you sit back against the wall and you give it lots of time. You know, maybe Sukhasana on each side, because you're sitting against the wall and you're giving it so much time to unwind. It's 5 minutes per leg, you know,
Okay.
5 minutes
Yeah.
here, 5 minutes here, and you curve forward, maybe not as far as you do at home.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The idea is just to relax into it and kind of
Listen, and yeah,
Okay.
and a little is a lot that way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And if you're inspired, then you get your strap out. You know, a strap is something pretty easy to travel with, but there's almost
Yeah.
always a belt or something around that you can use. But I've found that a strap is the one thing that I will tend to travel with because it takes up so little space.
Right. I
It's
usually
just
bring that
nice.
with me.
It's
Yeah.
nice to have it.
Yeah.
Because then the other thing that's good for hiking hips is strap on the ball of the foot, firm your leg, turn your heel out, and get that downward pressure right down through your bones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Good questions. Mm-hmm. Hey, Linda, you made it through. Two persistent students. Yeah.
I made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, first I really want to say thank you. Like, this work has facilitated out of my body the belief that I can't change things with my body. It's pretty cool. So I have a really open bite, and it's caused a lot of tension, like cascading throughout my body all of my life. So I notice as I practice, there are ways that my jaw just doesn't even know how to relax. So just looking for some tips if you have suggestions.
Yeah. So do your back teeth hit? Which teeth
They
hit?
do. My a few of my molars at the back. Yeah.
Okay. And this has been the case all your life? Yeah. Have you, and did at some point, did you do orthodontics or did you try anything?
I have. They told me surgery was my only option for years. But about 2 years ago, I discovered someone who knew something different. And so I've spent some time like expanding my palate. It's caused a lot of relief, but there is still tension, and it's still, I still have an open bite. So I still have some physiological, you know, something kind of different.
Yeah. Okay. Have you had a bite, like a night guard made or anything like that? Have you tried that?
I have a device that I wear that's like retraining my tongue in a different position, and that's expanding my palate kind of slowly and gently. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if, and I'm hoping to have some actual answers for you here first, but let me ask a couple more questions. When you bite together, the pressure goes on to the back teeth. When you're just sitting upright like this and sitting here talking to me, is there tension?
There is.
In your jaw?
Yeah.
So there's almost always tension.
Yeah.
Can you point to it?
Here.
Okay.
But it really does like cascade everywhere. But I would say probably
the masseter muscles. And then do you get headaches? When you say it goes everywhere, you get headaches and tension down your neck and okay. And then the night guard, do you use it?
I used it really really like a good student for like a year, and then now I use it less. I wear it like I'm not wearing it like 12 hours a day. I'm wearing it like 2.
What does it do? Does it just, let me ask it this way, do your back teeth, when you put the night guard in, is it only your back molars that still hit, or does it even things out across all your teeth?
I don't, it still only my back molars would hit, but my bite is so open that I don't know that there is a way to get my front molars or my front teeth to hit.
Yeah.
But it's just starting to create space so
The
that things
expansion.
can shift. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Incidentally, my wife is she's now a retired dentist, but she's a real. This is an area of her specialty. So,
Wow.
with your permission, I'll show her the video.
Sure.
And then you're in the system, right? You're doing the classes.
I am. Yeah.
And I'll see if she has any suggestions at all.
Yeah. Okay. For sure.
Could be good. She really has a lot of insights with things like this.
Wow.
So now for the yoga, when you have your legs up on the wall, or tell me when are there specific shapes where you feel like, where I might say, relax your jaw, and you're like, Jeff, don't even say that. I can't relax my jaw here. What are the shapes?
Yeah. The more complex, the more things that are going on, the farther away relaxation becomes. It seems unattainable, but I am finding it in the simpler shapes. And I can feel relaxation coming where I've never had it before.
Nice. So for example, legs up on the wall, reaching overhead and turning your head, is that adding too much complexity?
No, I'm learning to be more present and allow things to relax. But it's like I'm standing on a leg on a wall. I've got one leg on a strap. That's when I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much tension, which in the past I might not even have noticed the tension. So noticing it is probably even a step forward.
It's huge.
Yeah,
it's huge. And so when people will often ask me, what's the difference between a green class and an orange class? And most people will think, oh, an orange class or even a red class, they're harder, right? They're harder because our whole world, our whole fitness world, and even the yoga world is advancing with more intensity and more complexity. If you just sort of stand back and look at in the last 50 years where we've gone with fitness, the trend is more intensity and more complexity, to the point where we're now, hucking tractor tires around and doing, it's just these, I don't know, things that just are, okay, it's creative, but man, is it complex, and and what I always say is the body is unbelievably complex, and the pain and what tends to bring the pain on is also extremely complex. And so we must meet the pain, we must meet the tension, we must meet the complexity from as much simplicity as we possibly can. So the fact that you could have your legs up on the wall, do the strap work overhead, have your eyes closed, and be doing this work in your arms, lowering overhead. Maybe your head is turned to one side. We usually lower, do the work, then while we're reaching, I'll say turn your head to one side. So just having the arms doing this thing, bumping into restrictions in your shoulder, whether they are felt or not, reaching overhead becomes an issue for almost everybody at some point in their life. So your body is dealing with those kind of neurological signals. Then we add the turning of the head, which is different than, so turning your head driving in your car is different than turning your head with your arms working overhead. So there's a layer of complexity there. Long story short, like you just said, it's huge that you're able to recognize the tension. Number one, that's what we have to do. We use the shapes to identify the tension. We use them to identify the blockage. Without them, we wouldn't know they're there. Number two, you must reduce the complexity, or you must reduce the pressure, so that you have that relaxing influence on yourself. This is a big reason you're in the yoga practice. The tension in your jaw, right?
Yeah.
Your hips are good, your shoulders are good. Any low back pain, what else? Let me know what else might be happening.
I would say I have like my entire body has developed compensation for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you describe that?
So when I quit wearing my device for so long, it was because nothing was changing. And I knew it was something in my pelvis. There was something in my pelvis that had to shift to catch up with the changes in my jaw. So I do have one, like, I would say before I started the practice, my right leg felt really like a block, and my left leg felt like it was dangling by a thread. But it's coming online now. It's coming back online, and there's more evenness there now.
When would it feel that way? Just walking down the street, sitting in a chair, lying in bed.
It was like I had a leg, but I didn't have a leg. My leg was fine, working functionally. It looks fine, but it wasn't engaged with my awareness in the same way.
Totally, I get it. Yeah. All right. So you're integrating your leg.
Yes,
and your
that's a
hip
beautiful
and your
word.
pelvis.
Yeah.
And we don't know which came first, the hip or your jaw. Whether we can go way, way, way back, and we really don't. We don't know. So, okay. So tell me what else and that integration comes a lot through the strap work.
Yeah.
Right. And like you said, standing into the wall.
Yeah.
Is a really good one. And feeling into the wall and bringing one knee in.
Yeah.
Integrating and just giving it time.
God,
and observing.
This is so interesting, because now I'm so aware as we're talking that I just have such a mentality of like accomplishing that it is so uncomfortable to lean into like past the coping mechanisms that I've developed to keep myself moving.
Yeah.
And that's probably what's getting kind of triggered up as much as my body.
Yes. What a beautiful insight.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Because, the Vita Yoga is I was going to say everything but trying to accomplish it. Like I'm in a teacher training right now, and I'll tell the teachers, it's actually a quiz question. It's a question on the quiz. Why do we not want to get better at yoga or Vita Yoga? It's because anything else is the wrong goal.
Yeah,
I want to get better at the shape. It's like, which would you rather have? Would you rather get really good at meditation, or would you rather join with pure love?
Wow.
People spend hours getting really good at meditation and all these techniques.
Yeah.
And without us even knowing it, the technique and the skills start to become the goal, instead of reminding ourselves peace is the goal.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of patience and a lot of probably more patience than anything, real, true patience. I define patience as being certain of the outcome. If you're certain of the outcome, then you can have endless patience. And being certain of the outcome is requires trust. And so there you are in this moment where you're feeling the disintegration and savoring it. Right? Nobody's watching. It's just you and your practice, and it's you there, and letting all this. A lot of times there's emotions behind it. There's past trauma or memories or whatever thing, and they'll come bubbling up, and your body will react, and it'll shake, and it'll do all these things, and you just watch it. And I still have it in my practice. Like this morning when I was practicing online, it shows up in both my shoulders when I'm lowering the strap overhead, and and whenever I feel it, I mention it. So
yeah,
this is how you'll start to make progress, and then you'll value it more and more and more.
I don't actually trust myself that I'm going to learn to relax here. That's what it is. Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes trusting ourselves, it could be different. Like when I think about trusting myself and all the trouble that I've got into over the years and all the mistakes that I've made, when I trust something, when I trust spirit, or when I'll say, love will find a way. I trust something far greater than myself. Then it's so much easier to be patient, and which is a huge virtue. Do you know what I mean? So maybe there's a little shift there, like I've had, where oh yeah, I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust something vast and beautiful and whole and perfect. I'm going to trust that will come through me. Yeah.
That's something
Yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm.
At the
Kendall?
beginning of the Zoom, when you started talking, Linda, you mentioned the shift that you've already seen in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And you're calling that trust or progress or love or more peace than you had before. Maybe you don't need to label it. Just try to sit with that and be aware that, well, here's what I had last year in my and I'm not feeling that anymore.
Yeah.
So it's movement,
Oh, thank you. Thank you both. Yeah, definitely. I'm a big picture person. So to get connected back to that big picture with us is a shift in itself. Yeah.
And often talks about, each day it might be different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, healing is not a linear process.
Right.
So we'll go.
So I might notice this. Oh, wow, my shoulders are opening. This is great. I feel really excited. And then the next week, oh, no, we're back to where we were. And, Jeff says it's not a linear process. It's going to keep shifting depending on what's been happening that week or whatnot. So, that's just trusting the process, maybe not so much self, but just that.
And whatever shows up in the present moment,
Yeah,
whatever shows up
it.
now in this particular shape at this moment is what I'm going to work with. And then, Linda, what we can address really, really well in the Avita Yoga practice is everything. This may sound kind of funny, but everything we can address. Let me say it this way. We can address everything in your body much better than we can address your jaw itself.
Oh, I'm going to have to.
Like yoga for the jaw, I'm not sure about that. But I do know yoga for the neck I know yoga for your shoulders. I know yoga for your back. I know yoga for your front really well. Okay. And so it's all the shapes we do. It's the block work, it's the strap work, it's work on the bolster, it's work opening your front, it's work opening your back, it's all of that from this super receptive, kind, observational place. You just let the yoga come to you. It's so important. And let the undoing happen. And that's different than trying to accomplish, like we talked about. Is it helpful?
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you. Got so many awarenesses of what's going on.
Yeah.
Not just what I think is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want a recording of this, of our talk here?
Sure, that would be awesome. Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
I'll send a recording to you because it might be helpful to listen to it again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? All good. Well, that was sweet. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your practice. Email me with any questions, and I'll send you both links to this in case you want it.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello again. If you enjoyed today's chat, please share it with friends and family and subscribe to the Avita Yoga YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. If you have a question for Jeff and the Avita community or know someone who does, why not join a live chat? They're on the first Wednesday of the month at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You'll find the link in the episode notes. Thanks for listening.